So this is how liberated ones, liberated monks and nuns reflect on the true nature of life. When ordinary beings, ordinary humans and ordinary gods and goddesses, when they are stuck in illusional imaginations, illusional ideas, enlightened people are always they live with the reflections on the truth. Again, we pay homage to the Gautama Supreme Buddha, the Blessed One. Sadhu, sadhu. We pay homage to all the Arahants, all the enlightened, liberated monks, sadhus. We pay homage to our teacher, Lokaswami Mahansi, sadhus. So these are the verses of Arahant, Sirimaṇḍa Thero, who is going to read.
Bande, I can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Verses of Arahant Sirimaṇḍa. When the fold is covered, the defilements overflow. When the fold is disclosed, the defilements drain away. Therefore, one should be open without covering one's faults. As a result, defilements won't overflow and will drain away. 448. All beings in this world are attacked by death, surrounded by aging. The dart of craving has been shot into them, and it smokes because of the things they desire. 449. All beings in this world are attacked by death and surrounded by aging. They are beaten continuously, helplessly, like a thief who has received his punishment. 450. Death, diseases, and old age approach a person like huge fires from a volcano. There is no strength to fight against them. There is no speed to run away. 451. One should not make one's day unproductive, whether by a little or by much. Every night that is passed, his lifespan becomes shorter. 452. The last night can approach you at any time, whether you are walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. Therefore, there is no time for you to be heedless. These verses were said by Arahant Sirimaṇḍa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Aren't those verses beautiful?
Yes, Bante, very much.
Very beautiful, Bante.
The
Time is
taste of
running.
truth. Huh?
It says time is running out.
Mm-hmm. Each verse has the taste of the truth. You can't find even a single word that is illusional or delusional. Each and every word is about the truth of life. So the wisdom grows when we learn the words of the truth. True happiness comes to our life when we study, when we reflect on, when we contemplate on the words of the truth. So that's why enlightenment is the only way to attain freedom from suffering. So do you have any questions before we go to the deep Dhamma?
Bante, last week, the sharing on the life story of Buddha, the 4-hour animated movie I watched, is very beautiful. There are some things that I missed out before. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So just like Buddha ascension to heaven to give Dhamma to his mother, and the descension coming down to earth, it's very beautiful. The way he did it.
Which movie is that?
Oh, the life history of Buddha.
The one
Yes,
I
yes.
shared that day.
We shared last week, the
The
4-hour movie.
4 hour. That's how I heard. That's the name.
Yes.
That's the name of the movie. That's how I heard.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Did anybody watch that? Anybody else?
Yes, Mante, we watched that movie before we went for pilgrimage. Remember, Mante?
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
that's long time ago. But I asked you to watch. Ask everybody
Yeah,
to watch for this Vesa.
I haven't.
Aina is smiling. Why?
it is long, but it's very nice. Yeah, there are parts like the elephant.
Aina,
Yeah.
you forgot to watch that?
Namo Buddhaya Bante.
Oh,
No, it's not forget, but it's always attacked to my mind because this is the first time we saw the animated movie about and give us very good impression about how they made that movie. And we also learned so many different things from
and also the
story.
accuracy of the account
Yeah.
took place in the life of the Buddha, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should watch that again and again. You know, no need to watch all these garbage things.
And Bante, there was that part of Lord of Elephants and the Lord of Monkey. So they offered bananas to Buddha when he was in the forest. And the last part when Buddha is going back to the Sangha, the Lord of the Elephant died because of grief, and then he ascended to heaven. He became a human. Yeah, so that part I also missed out before. I didn't know.
Oh, you
Sadhu.
for sure you have missed out still so many parts. So you have to join lots of Dhamma programs. We all have missed out so many parts. So we need to keep studying, teaching, keep studying, listen to keep listening to the Dhamma talks. Rob, you like to say something?
Yeah, just a question about the sutta, the small sutta. Just the very first verse. It seems kind of separate from the rest of the verses. It's simple, but it seems like it's important. Just wondering, maybe some more. Maybe you have some more things to say about just what it means to cover a fault, or what it means to disclose a fault, or what it means to
so
be
you mean
open
the first
about
one, right?
very first verse. Yeah, seems kind of separate, but it seems important too.
Yeah, so that means that when we do something, when we make a mistake, like let's say we break precepts, okay, we kill humans or we kill animals, or we steal things from others, or we engage in sexual misconduct, or we cheat somebody, lying, we do something wrong. So and we know that we did that wrong thing, but we want to keep it as a secret. We don't want to ask for forgiveness. We don't want to confess it. So the Arahant says, as long as we want to keep our mistake as a secret, more defilements piled up around that. Regret, remorse, and other defilements. More defilements are added. But if we decide, okay, I recognize I made a mistake, I hurt that person, I made something wrong. So, and we think, okay, I admit that and I want to confess. So let me go to that person and ask for forgiveness. That's called opening up without covering your faults. Or you will go to a knowledgeable person, to your parents, to your teachers, to a monk, to a nun, and you open it up and you disclose. And you say, Bhante, I did this wrong thing and I broke this precept, but I want to rehabilitate and I want to take those precepts again. I want to observe them as fresh ones. So please accept my mistake, and I admit that. So please forgive me for that. And from that point on, no defilements are added to your mistake. So as a result, defilements won't overflow and will drain away, and that gives a strong relief, calm to your mind, peace to your mind. As long as the fault is disclosed, the defilements and the fault is not disclosed, the defilements pile up.
Yeah, I guess the word fault maybe.
Fault means anything like that: breaking precept, hurting somebody, insulting somebody, any kind of unwholesome activity.
It tends to be an action or an injury, not a weakness, not a personal weakness. Like, I mean, you could have a personal weakness.
Yeah, basically bodily and verbal. Those are the ones that Buddha said that you need to go to a person and confess.
So it's not like if you have some personal weakness that you're hiding. I mean, there wouldn't be something terribly wrong with hiding, you know.
No, yeah, not even weaknesses. Let's say you got angry at somebody.
An action, okay.
Okay, so you got angry, but you didn't say anything, you didn't do anything. Okay, but anger is in your mind, and Buddha says for that you don't need to confess, or you don't need to go to that person and tell, oh, you know what, I got really mad at you, like from your mind, because Buddha teaches you don't need to do for your mental unwholesome things. It's basically related to bodily and verbal unwholesome qualities. You can read more about it in the Ambalatthika Rahulawada Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya.
Okay,
Ambalatthika Rahulawada Sutta, advice to the monk Rahula in the Ambalatthika village. There Buddha teaches that for the mental unwholesome qualities, we don't need to basically go to a person and discuss, because there is no end to that, because we get so many bad negative thoughts in our mind, and if you keep going to people and say, you know, I had some lustful thoughts about you, and I had some these kind of thoughts, that kind of thoughts, there is no end. We cannot do anything else. We have to always chase behind people, right?
Right. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Very good. So think about this, the wisdom of the Buddha, and how practical he is, and how scientific, I mean, how realistic, how practical. And also in terms of karma accumulation, it's basically like bodily action and verbal action that we need to confess. Yeah, all the precepts are there to restrain from bodily misconduct and verbal misconduct. There are no precepts for the mental misconduct. Did you get that?
Right.
All the 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts, the 227 precepts of the higher ordained monk, all the precepts are there to control bodily misconduct and verbal misconduct. There are no precepts for mental misconduct.
That's incredible.
Yes. So then, like when there are these precepts, these precepts help us to control our limits, like not to go beyond the limits. Okay, we know that there is a precept called killing humans and animals. There's a precept called stealing. There is a precept called sexual misconduct. There's a precept called lying. There's a precept called abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs. Like that, we know the barrier, we know the limitation, we know where we should stop, right? So there are no barriers for the mind like that. So at least precepts remind us, wait, you have a precept, right? The precepts help us a lot in that manner. They remind us where we should always stay in. But there are no precepts for the mind. There are no barriers, like you can spend the whole day thinking all the garbage thoughts, unwholesome thoughts, negative thoughts, harmful thoughts. You can spend the whole day. Nobody will see. No precepts. You don't break precepts. But Buddha teaches, still you have to abandon these unwholesome thoughts, whether there are no precepts. How? Panya disva pahatabba. Yes, there are no precepts for the mental misconduct, but there is a way to abandon unwholesome thoughts. That is to panya disva pahatabba. By repeatedly seeing thoughts with wisdom. That means using your wisdom and mindfulness, you have to check all the time, okay, what kind of thoughts are in my mind now? Are they angry thoughts? Are they lustful thoughts? Are they greedy thoughts? Are they regretful thoughts? Are they remorseful thoughts? Using your wisdom, you have to always check.
Okay,
And
Monday, this is crazy. Like what you're saying. Okay, this has happened for me the second time. I'm just going to say what happened to me this week while meditating. So this week, and a lot of times when I meditate, music comes up in my head and I get frustrated and I get mad. This week, music came up in my head, but I was able to see the hit of pleasure that my mind got when the music started. I was actually able to see it. And when I seen that hit of pleasure, I understood what was going on and I was able to let it go, because now I wasn't frustrated. I was just fine with it. I was able to just be fine with what I seen and what was coming up. And what you're saying right now is just what I've been thinking about for like sort of the last week, of how I was able to see that and finally understood how to let go, because I've never understood when people say just to let something go, how do you let it go? And I was just able to be fine with that and with the music and just understood it and let it go. And it's just crazy that you're talking about this right now when this happened to me about 4 or 5 days ago. And this has happened last summer. You talked about something that I was having a real problem with. It was like you were talking to me. This is the second time this has happened to me while we've been discussing this. In fact, I never came to this last summer. And the first time I came to this was because I was having this problem. And you talked exactly about my problem.
so you're happy?
It's uncanny.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you when you go through these teachings of the enlightened one. That happens to that can happen to anybody. Like you have some problem and you don't know what to do and you are upset, and then suddenly you notice that the Dhammapada book is in the bookshelf, right? You take the Dhammapada book and you start flipping pages, and suddenly you stay somewhere and you see, wow, this is the solution I needed. Yeah, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's amazing how these teachings of the Buddha are timeless. and how much like how we can apply them to the current problem and all these things is amazing. Like, yeah, that's the quality of the Dhamma. Yeah, so that's very good. Like, that's a very good point, and that's, I think, not only it's Ray's experience, but it's kind of an encouragement for everybody, right? When you need some answers, just try to start reading some sutta book or listening to a Dhamma talk, and unbelievably you get the right answer. That's an encouragement.